The story behind it is just as important, if not more important, than the product or service that you're selling. Hey guys, Jim Edwards here, and welcome to a slightly earlier edition of Letting the Chickens Out with Jim. I just want to talk to you for a minute about the story that you use to sell whatever it is you're selling. And here's the thing. When you sell something, whatever it is, product, service, coaching, high-end this, whatever, people have questions. Good morning, Sean. People have questions about the product, and they're going to evaluate it based on what you, hey, Sarah, they're going to evaluate it based on what you tell them in your bullets and everything. But inherently, as people, we have questions about, why are you selling this? Who are you to be selling this? Why did you decide to sell this? How did it come about? How was it created? Why was it created? Why are you charging what you're charging? Why is it worth what you're charging? I mean, there are all these questions, and those questions get answered by the story. Hey, Cynthia, get answered by the story that you tell. In fact, Cynthia asked a question yesterday. She did a great job of putting together her epiphany story and her backstory, and then asked, how do I use this now that I've got it? And the answer is, once you've got the story, you've got the big story behind the product or the service, or you, because people are ultimately buying you, then you can mix and match and use that story a whole bunch of different ways. I likened it to piling up a bunch of Legos, all the different elements of that story, just like Legos. Once you have all the Legos out on the table, you can use it to build a whole bunch of different stuff. You can use it to build a 3 to 5 minute Facebook Live. You can use it to build a 2-sentence explanation. You can use it to fill a 30-minute webinar. The point, though, is that the story behind the product in many ways is more important than the product itself, because if you look at something like ClickFunnels and you see the story behind ClickFunnels of Russell and his business and his journey and all that stuff, there are other website builders out there. There's other software out there that makes stuff. But the story behind ClickFunnels is what sells ClickFunnels, and it's what sells you on staying with ClickFunnels. So put as much thought into the story behind your product as you do the actual product itself, because especially if you want to sell it. If you're not interested in selling it, then don't focus on the story. But think about just turns of phrase that people use just walking around in life. There's my wife and I, when we see people sometimes like at Walmart or other things, and we'll say, there's a story there. And then we say something like, yeah, I'm not sure I want to know that story. But yeah, there's a story there. What's the story behind this? What's the scoop? Everybody is just programmed to have all the blanks filled in with stories. So you got to use stories and make sure that you really have the story down for your product or service that you're selling. So I hope that helps. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Think about the story you're going to use to sell your product or service. I'm Jim Edwards. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.